We left off over here at the 2 dots. The Mishnah says that if a person marries a woman, Visar Nazir, a Nazirite, he's not permitted to cut his hair, correct? The Torah says he must grow his hair for how many days? For 30 days. On the 30th day, what does he do? He shares the hair, and then he brings korbanos, and he takes the hair in the sanctuary, and he burns it under the pot that's cooking the Shalmi Nazir. That's the mitzvah, to burn it under that pot. It's a peace offering that a Nazir brings. That's one of the korbanos. Shalmi Nazir, okay? You burn under there. Instead of burning, he takes that hair, and he marries a woman. Eina b'kodeshes. Why? Because it's Yisro Hano. Somewhere asks Menolon, how do we know that Sar Nazir is Yisro Hano? Nuzayim Beis. Doma Kro. Kodosh Yeh Gadol Pera. Sarosho. Kodosh Yeh, he's considered sanctified. Gadol Pera, growing the crop. Pera is a 30-day growth. Sarosho. So what is the Torah saying? The simple reading is, what's Kodosh Yeh? The Nazir is Kodosh. The Nazir is in the state of Kedusha. He's Kodosh. But the Gemara is explaining it, Kodosh Yeh Gadol Per Sarosho Gidulo Yeh Kodosh. The growth, the 30-day growth has Kedusha. So Gemara asks an interesting question. We know anything that's consecrated, you're able to be poter. Correct? You can redeem it. So if that's the case, let's say the hair, it's true. Before redemption, Eina b'kodeshes. Let a person take its value, transfer the kedusha off the hair onto the money. Somewhere asks, Ima kodesh tofis dom of yotzil l'chulin, afsar nozir tofis dom of yotzil l'chulin. If we're equating, the Torah is equating the hair of the nozir to something that's consecrated, just as something's consecrated, if you redeem it, it takes on an ordinary status. So if you take money and redeem it, the hair, take on, which is not the case. On that, the answer is Mi Karinan Kodesh, Kadosh Karinan. Yeah. So Rashi explains it beautifully. What's the difference, something that's Kodesh or something that's Kadosh? Kodesh means it has Kedusha upon it. That's Kodesh. Kadosh means something which is inherently holy. Something that's inherently holy, you can't transfer it off. Something that's endowed with Kedusha, right, has Kedusha upon it, that could be removed. Sefer Torah, right? Sefer Torah is called Tashmish Kedusha. That, once it is, you have to bury it. There's no way you could transfer its sanctity onto anything else, because its essence is holy. Pair of tefillin, its essence is holy. It can't be transferred off. Okay? So the hair is, the Torah refers to it as Kadosh. Kadosh. Kadosh means it's holy. It's not because it possesses holiness, it is holy. So if it's holy, you can't transfer it. Bepetach Hamor. I want to do a Tosus. The Gemara originally said that by the Tzipori Nazir, very interesting argument. Tzipori Nazir, if you have the 2 birds, for the Nazir it says one you slaughter, and the one you slaughter is Yisro Hano, and then the other one you take and you send it into the wild. And that, when you send it into the wild, it becomes permitted. But before you send it into the wild, it's also Yisro Hano. You cannot benefit from it. But after the ritual is completed and you send it to the wild, you're permitted to benefit from it. Okay? So Gemara asks, one second, and the Gemara says, how do we know this? Because regarding the laws of kosher species, the Torah says that, it says all these birds you can eat. It says yochel. So the yochel, it comes to include the bird that you're sending into the wild. And when it says lo yochel, kol asher lo yochel, the bird you should not eat, although it delineates the species of the birds, it's referring to the shchuta, the bird that was slaughtered. So Gemara says, let us invert the order. Maybe Ye'ochel means the one that you slaughtered, and the one you sent to the wild, that's the bird that you can't eat. So Gemara says, because where do you find Balei Chayim, a living species, that it should retain its forbidden status? So Gemara says, what do you mean? If you have a rovei of a nirva, if a person commits bestiality with an animal, it's living, and it's Yisro Hano, right? It doesn't change its status. And you have Sharan Nisko. So the Gemara answers the majority of living animals. You find the minority, but the majority, therefore. So Tosus, interesting Tosus over here. We know a Sharan Nisko you're not permitted to benefit from. We have the Mishnah says, Makadosh Sharan Nisko Eina b'kodeshes. You makarish with Rovei and Nirva, Edim Kodeshes. We're talking once the court rules, Rovei and Nirva, it's Yisro no. One is, with this Tosas cites Rabbeinu Tam's position that it's only Yisro, as long as it's alive, you're permitted to benefit from it. Person wants to ride or plow a field with a shor on niskal, 100% permitted according to Rabbeinu Tam. Rovei and Nirva, you're permitted to benefit from. It's only not permitted once you slaughter it. If you slaughter it, if it was ruled to be a shor on niskal, you slaughter it, now you're not permitted to benefit. But as long as it's alive, Rabbeinu Tam's position is you're permitted to benefit from it. So we have a difficulty from the Mishnah. You have difficulty from the Gemara here. The Gemara says, how could you tell me that Bali Chaim are not asur, an animal, when it's alive? It doesn't retain its forbidden status. What do you do, Rovei and Nirva? What do you do with Shor and Niskal? So here we find Bali Chaim in the living state. They retain their forbidden status that you're not permitted to benefit from. So this seemingly which refutes Rabbeinu Tam. That's Tosas' question of Rabbeinu Tam. Rabbeinu Tam says that you're permitted to benefit from these situations when they're alive. The Gemara seems to indicate that you're not permitted to benefit. That's Tosas' question. Let's see it inside. Vim Tomer, third line, top Tosas. Lefirish Rabbeinu Tam, dem Vorshar Aniskal Shari Bano, Kozman Shuchai. According to Rabbeinu Tam, the Shar Aniskal is permitted to benefit as long as it's alive. Elo Arachaskilo. When does it become not permitted? After it's stoned. After you stone it, it's dead, that's when you're not permitted to benefit from. Chaynami Koma Berovei V'Nirva. Rabbeinu Tam says the same thing with Rovei and V'Nirva. A person commits speciality with the animal, you're permitted to benefit from it as long as it's alive. Yimkein, Kosher, Mihocho. The Maikoma, the Balichayim, Asiri. The Gemara says, how could you tell me that the living bird cannot be forbidden because we don't find a living species? Which is Yisro no, we find Rovei V'Nirva, the Mashra Asur Bano, Af Michayim. Seems from here, you're not permitted to benefit even when they're alive. So this seemingly, the Gemara refutes Rabbeinu Tam. Everybody hear the kasha? Avram, are you with us?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You want to plow a field with a shor in the skull before it's stoned. 100% permitted. Same again, Rovei V'Nirva, same thing. And if you Makadash Yadisha with it, she's adding B'Kodeshes. I mean, if you can plow a field with it, evidently it has value, right? Because until it's stoned, it has value. You have an ownership. Ulefishi Toso Lo Niska Kan Hano Klal Elohochi Perusho. So he says you can say a dochik. When the Gemara says you don't find Balichaim Osur, Osur means, maybe it doesn't mean Yisur Hano. Right? It doesn't mean Yisur Hano. Right? The Gemara says, how could you tell me that the bird, the Gemara said the reason why the bird you sent to the wild is permitted because we don't find Balichaim which are Asurim. We're talking within the context of Yisur Hano, correct? So you're right. Within the context of Yisur Hano, it's not, because Shor and Niskal not. Eloch Brusha, Lo Matzidu Balichaim Da Asiri Klomar, Shehizer HaKosef Shel Shochto, K'dei Lechlu HaBosar. What the Gemara says, where do you find Balichaim, where the Torah says that when you slaughter it, let's say you find the bird in the wild, what are you going to do with the bird? You're going to slaughter it for food. Where do we find Balichaim, where when it's alive, the Torah does not allow you to slaughter it for food consumption? So Gemara says, Shor and Niskal. We had before, if you slaughter it after Psak, or after the verdict of the court, it's Yisro Hano. The Rovei and Nirva, if you slaughter it, right? Let's say you don't kill it. You slaughter it, you're still not permitted to eat it. No, I know, again, but that's what it means. We're saying, eating for food consumption. Uporich, Harevei V'Nirva, the Balichaim Ninu, we find Rovei Nirva, Lo Hiser Kosve Lo Shochton, K'dei Lech LaBosar, Aval Yohanus Behem, Kozman Shem Chaim Vadi Mutter. That's permitted. So it's not a refutation of Rabbeinu Tam. What the Gemara says, the bird you're sending into the wild, the Gemara says it's mutar b'ano. What does mutar b'ano mean, Rabbeinu Tam? That if you should find the bird, you're permitted to slaughter it and benefit from the meat. So he says, what I mean, we don't find that such a thing. What did we find? Two cases. Shor Niska Rovei V'Nirva. There, you have a living species, and if you want to slaughter it for food consumption, it's not permitted. So maybe the bird's not permitted. So on that it says, the majority of cases, you don't find such a thing. Therefore, it's more logical to apply it to the bird that's slaughtered, not to the bird that's sent into the wild. Correct, correct. That's what we're saying. Okay, let's go further. No, the bird, it's no. You do anything you want with the bird. You want to sell it put it in a cage. That's Rabbeinu Tam. Benefiting means you can't benefit from the meat. The living, according to Rabbeinu Tam, you want to plow with it. You want to ride it, not a problem. Nothing wrong with it. No, Shar Niskal, you're supposed to stone. So it has to, once it's stoned, you can't benefit any longer. But let's say pre-stoning. The court set a stoning day 2 weeks. So the next 2 weeks you can use it to plow your field, according to Rabbeinu Tam. Right? Correct? Because its value is until it's going to be stoned. Correct? Rabbeinu Tam is saying it's only once it's killed. That's when you can't be Mekadosh. It means with the flesh of the Shar Niskal, you ain't Mukadeshes. So that's the way he's learned the Mishnah. Mekadosh Shar Niskal ain't Mukadeshes. It means with his flesh. Whether it's stoned or it's slaughtered or he did shchita. Can't bet she's Einim Mukadeshes. Okay, let's go further. What? No, killed. Killed. The Petach Hamor. Good.
The bird you also, you also have to know, the bird after.
No, the two birds. It says the bird that you slaughter and you, right, and its blood goes in the water, that bird you can have a benefit from. That bird, it's immediately. Once it's sent away, you can do whatever you want. It's an ordinary bird. How do I know? There's a pasuk. So the Gemara says, maybe I should say the pasuk that says it's not permitted going on the living bird. So the Gemara says it's not logical. Because we don't find balechayim which are osur. What does it mean we don't find balechayim that's osur? So the Gemara says we do find. We find rovev and nirva. Okay. The Mishnah says a person is makadosh petach hamor. You have the first offspring of a donkey, the first issue of a donkey, male. Right? It's Yisro makadosh petach hamor enim kodeshes. So Gemara says name masis look Reb Shimon. Seeming the Mishnah is not going to Reb Shimon. Why? The Tanya. Petach hamor osabano div Reb Yehuda. Reb Yehuda is of the opinion petach hamor is osabano. No, a mule does not. Reb Shimon matir. Reb Shimon says no. Reb Shimon says you're permitted to benefit from the petach hamor. Okay? Omer Rav Nachman, Omer Rav Baravua, lacharifa tivriyako. See how he's learning. So what is petach? According to Reb Shimon, the Rav Nachman, how does he learn the Mishnah? Rav Nachman says the name of Rabbi Baravua. When the Mishnah is mekadosh petach hamor, at what stage? Lacharifa. After it has its neck broken. Then even Reb Shimon agrees it's osbano. So Rashi says why? Because we learned arifa megla rufa. We said it before. Mekadosh megla rufa. Because it's kapara. It's like kochim in kodeshes. And once the arifa takes place, you break its neck. So then it has the same status. Because I learned Xer Shova arifa. Therefore, it's not permitted. So you see what the Gemara is saying. When the Mishnah says mekadosh petach hamor, doesn't mean mekadosh with a living animal, right? According to Reb Shimon, we're saying the Mishnah could even go like Reb Shimon, and it's speaking after it had his neck broken. So you see, so Rabbeinu Tam is very good now. He said Rabbeinu Tam is a dochik. Why is it a dochik? Because it seems to be mekadosh u'shar niskol enim kodeshes. At what stage? When it seems when it's alive. But the Gemara is saying now, petach hamor doesn't necessarily have to be alive. Because it's saying if the Mishnah go even like Reb Shimon. At what stage is the petach hamor? It's only after it had its neck broken. So you see, petach hamor doesn't mean it's a living entity. It means after it's dead, it had its neck broken. So similarly to Shara Niskal and Rev and Nirva, what are you mekadosh with it? After you slaughter it. Because once you slaughter it, once it's stoned, it becomes Yisro. Yeah, that's a different story. That's different. No, but there was a question, when does it become an egla rufa? Then nobody's arguing egla rufa. Is it when you purchase the egla rufa or when you take it down to the valley? Yeah, I understand that. Okay. No, no. It's a different argument over here. According to Reb Shimon, it's permitted.
There's always a possibility that you're going to be positive.
Could, so no.
So there's always a...
No, but it's still Yisro no. According to Rabbi Yehuda, it's Yisro no.
How do you know? I mean, when does it become mutabana? After
The Torah says,
after you're
Poda b'seh. It says tivte b'seh.
Until you're...
Can I ask you a question? Kochim.
Right.
You can always be Poda kochim.
Right.
Are you permitted to benefit until you Poda it?
No, I'm saying, so
That's Rabbi Yehuda. Tivte b'seh. It's not permitted to you until you redeem it with a sheep. Basa b'cholov. Okay? You marry a woman, basa b'cholov. You go to McDonald's, right? Sure, a cheeseburger. And we're talking about they used kosher meat. L'kol hadeus. Even going to Rambam. It's bona fide basa b'cholov. Okay? A lahachasnik, right? Kosher meat, kosher milk, and he cooks them together. Okay? Grills the cheese on the hamburger. And he gives his kala, right? In the what's his name? The yichud room, right? Basa b'cholov. So the Mishnah says Ein b'kodeshes. It's Yisro no b'nola. And how do we know Basa b'cholov you're not permitted to benefit from? It's brought many places in Shas. The Tanu Rabbi Shmuel. Now, we discussed it earlier. If you want to be, you have something Yisro and let's chometz, or all the things mentioned in the Mishnah, not Basa b'cholov, to benefit shloka derech hanoson, orlo, you're permitted on a Torah level, correct? Because that was Tosa's question. Why B'Kadosh Baruch Hu Gudesha is you're able to benefit from it, shloka derech hano, or koloi hakerem, right? Unconventionally, Tosa says either it's shloka derech hano, it's supposed to be the pruta, or she's not aware, right? That's what Tosa's answered. But why over there are you permitted to benefit shloka derech hano? Not the unconventional way of benefiting. Why? Because in those cases, the Torah says you should not eat it. The connotation, eating means derech achila, meaning the conventional way of eating, right? But if it's not the conventional way of eating, then the Torah permits it, right? Unconventional type of, right? You're permitted. When the Torah says you're not permitted to eat milk and meat, the Torah says lo savashel gdiba chalevimo, and the Torah says those same words 3 times. Repeats it 3 times. It says echod l'isur achila, echod l'isur hano, echod l'isur bishul. You're not permitted to eat, to benefit, or even to cook it. You know, these people who go to culinary schools, and so many of the recipes are basa b'cholov. They have to add milk to a meat recipe, right? So it's nis d'oraisa, unless you rely on Shittas Rambam, right? Because it's not kosher. Just cooking, you cook milk and meat together, Torah violation. No, so that depends on the Rambam, right? That depends on the Rambam. It has to be kosher meat. So if you go to culinary school, you have to rely on Shittas Rambam that you're not in violation of a Torah law, of cooking milk and meat. Okay? But when the Torah says lo savashel, the Torah says lo sochal, so therefore, bas v'chol din shloka derech hano, you're not permitted to benefit from. Even if you benefit unconventionally from it, you're not permitted. Torah violation. That we discussed. You want to take the chel of a shara niskal, the fat, and you have a wound, and you want to relieve the pain by putting it on the wound. It's permitted. That's permitted because that's shloka derech hano. But because it says lo yochel es b'soro, you shouldn't eat its flesh. Eating, the connotation is what? Derech hano, right? The way you normally eat. It says lo svash gli b'chalevimo. Doesn't use the term eating. It says you shouldn't cook. It's because we have 3, the same thing mentioned. Each one addresses another level. No, you couldn't. Okay? So the halacha is even shloka derech hano. So there's a famous Reb Chaim. It's famous Reb Chaim Brisker. Now, what's the halacha if a person has a dairy pot? Okay? 24 hours passes, and mistakenly you cook meat in that pot. Bread, important. Right? It happens especially if you're not married yet, where your wife is not there to watch over you. Right? You have a dairy pot, and you cook a meat stew in the pot 24 hours after it's been used. Is the meat stew permitted to eat? to serve to the greatest rabbi in the world? Moshe Rabbeinu is your guest. Would Moshe Rabbeinu eat of that meat? You think so? Okay. So the halacha is 100% kosher. Why? Because the Gemara says in Avodah Zarah, because after 24 hours, it's called nostam levgam, whatever is absorbed in the walls of the vessel becomes putrid. Putrid taste has no value. As a result of that, you're permitted to eat. So, although it was used in the past for dairy, it's not considered, there's a dairy ingredient intermingled with the meat. Right? So it's not basar b'cholav. Basar b'cholav means you have bona fide, you have taste, which is viable milk, intermingling, so if it's within 24 hours, where what's absorbed in the wall hasn't become putrid red, so that's viable milk, intermingling with meat. No, we don't have shishim. We don't have shishim. No, forget, before we ask other questions, I just want to set down the rules. Okay? So if it's within 24 hours because the taste is viable, it's basar b'cholav. After 24 hours, because the milk is no longer viable, it's not considered intermingling of milk into the meat. Same thing. Putrid, it's not called tam. It's not called tam. Okay, we'll discuss it. It's learned from psukim. It's based on psukim. Gemara and Avodah Zarah. Wait. It has to be not edible. That's understood. If it's not edible, right? It's the same thing. If it's become, but here we say, well, it's not really as putrid as sour milk or milk that you can't drink, right? We're not talking. We're talking about a moment past, the clock passed, a moment beyond 24 hours. At that moment, you cook milk in the pot, it's not a problem. The halacha is, the meat is, you have to purge the vessel. Rabbinically, the vessel has to be purged, right? Because the vessel is absorbed, was used at one time for milk when the milk was viable milk, and now you're cooking meat in that pot, which is viable meat. So at the time it was absorbed, it absorbed viable taste. Therefore, rabbinically, it has to be purged. If it's rabbinical, on Torah level, the vessel does not have to be purged. But they have its own course rabbinically. Rabbinically. No, that's something because that's the vessel. Because I'm not coming here to teach you Hilchos Kashrus, right? I'm just giving you just general understanding to appreciate this. 100%, right? You can eat it. So therefore, but there, what do we speak of? It never became basar b'cholav because the milk was putrid, the taste was putrid, it wasn't viable, intermingling with the meat. What about a person cooked milk and meat in a pot? Right? Milk and meat in the pot. So what was absorbed in the walls of that pot? Basar b'cholav? No, within 24 hours. You cook milk and meat in the pot. What is absorbed into the walls of the pot? Yisro no. So let's say now, within 24 hours, you cook a kosher piece of meat in that pot. And there's no 60 versus whatever's in the wall of the pot. Within 24 hours. You don't have to concentrate too much on this. Within 24 hours. It's not complicated. Just, right? Within 24 hours. Now, the kosher piece of meat, what status does it assume? Basar b'cholav should become, no, not treif. Yisro no. Not only you're not permitted to eat. Because it's absorbed with the basar b'cholav, you're not permitted to benefit from that kosher piece of meat. Because it has absorbed into it the basar b'cholav that was absorbed in the walls of the pot. Right? Okay? What happens now? 24 hours pass from the basar b'cholav. And now you cook a kosher piece of meat in that pot. Okay? The meat is 100% kosher. So Reb Chaim asks, what's the question? No. That's not a question. It's not a question. You're not following. Let's say you have orla. You cook orla in a pot. And 24 hours pass. Kill kloya karim. And then 24 hours pass. And now you cook something else in the pot. You have a question? Yisro no? You don't have a question. Because it's putrid, that's shloka derech achila. That's unconventional eating. You're eating something which is not edible. So if the Torah says eat, so it's not edible, that's not called eating. So therefore 24 hours passive would be or lekloya kerem, all these things, it's not a problem. But the difficulty is basar b'cholav, even shlo gederech achila. Even if you eat it or benefit unconventionally, you're not permitted to benefit from it. So why, the question is, if 24 hours pass, why are you permitted to eat the item that's cooked in the pot? That's Reb Chaim's question. Okay? Because so here it says, lo svash gudi b'chalevimo. Doesn't say lo sochal. Doesn't say you shouldn't eat. It says you're not permitted to cook. So the Torah is not differentiating whether it's conventional eating or benefiting or unconventional. That's the question. So even becomes putrid. What's the halacha we have? The Mishnah says, if you have basar b'cholov, you bury it. Let's say it decomposes in the ground. Now it's the decomposed matter, and you want to benefit from that. You're not permitted to benefit from it, right? You want to take that decomposed basar b'cholov and cover ice. People shouldn't slip, right? You're not permitted. Because this is a residue of the original basar b'cholov. In whatever state it may be in, you're not permitted to benefit from it. Well, is that what milk and meat is used for? It's irrelevant. The Torah doesn't say it has to be conventional. In any context, you're not permitted to benefit from it. So Reb Chaim asks, so why after 24 hours when there's no stam of gam, when you have basar b'cholov absorbed in a vessel and it's absorbed into food now, why is the food permitted? Even if it's putrid, it should not be permitted. The taste, we say tam ki'ikr. Tam ki'ikr. Not a no. What's the meaning of tam ki'ikr? What's tam ki'ikr? You're eating it. You can eat the food. The taste of the basar b'chol, is it absorbed in the meat? But it's called achila. It's achila. You're eating. If basar b'chol becomes putrid, you won't eat the basar b'chol. You're permitted to eat it. Let's say it's putrid. It's inedible. You're not permitted to. If you have any degree of benefit from it, your body will be nourished at some level. You're not permitted. Whatever level it is, it sates you. Right? So here, the entity of basar b'cholav is absorbed in the kosher food. You're permitted to eat it after 24 hours. But if regarding basar b'cholav, it's irrelevant if it's viable or not viable. You're not permitted to benefit. So even after 24 hours, you shouldn't be permitted. That's the question Reb Chaim addresses. So why, when it's does tam of gam, are you permitted to benefit? So Reb Chaim says, now, when you cook something in a pot which was absorbed with something else, why are you not permitted to benefit from what's extracted into the food? That's called tam ki'ikr. Tam ki'ikr. The taste that's absorbed in the wall, if that now is transferred to something else and you taste, that taste is there, is present, it's like you're eating the substance itself. That's a separate gzeres hakosuf. Yeah? That's a separate gzeres hakosuf. No. If you put meat in a milk pot, it was not basar b'cholav. Originally it was cooked as basar b'cholav. After 24 hours, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. The question is, why is it not a problem? Right? Because even shloka derech hano, even if it's putrid, you shouldn't be able to have any relevance to it. But yet halacha is it's permitted. So Reb Chaim's asking, why is it permitted? Okay, that's the question. Now, how do we know if the Torah says if it's basar b'chol, you're not permitted to eat it or benefit? So we understand that it's the entity. How do we know that tam is ki'ikr? That even taste, where the substance doesn't exist any longer, it's been absorbed in the wall, and now it's extracted from the wall into something else. How do we know tam ki'ikr? That the taste is the equivalent of the ikr. I'll give you an example. Let's say you have milk absorbing into meat, right? And you taste the milk and meat. That's basar b'cholav, right? But let's say you have tam absorbing into the wall of a pot. Now it's extracted. We say that the taste is the equivalent of the substance itself. It's exersa kosov. That's not learned from basar b'cholav. That's learned from something else. Question, you learn it from Nazir. Mishras. It's learned from Nazir. The source where it's learned from, the laws of conventional and unconventional apply to that source. You understand? If it's tam kiker, it's viable taste. So we say viable taste is considered the equivalent of the substance. Let's say I wouldn't have that source, that tam kiker. So I would say, you know something, it's only if you're dealing with the substance. But if you're dealing with the taste is not the substance. So how do I know taste is equivalent of substance? I learned it from a source. Regarding the source of that law, there the Torah says that's only if it's viable. If it's not viable, then the Xeris Kosov has no application to it. So if that's the case, it's not called Tam. So therefore it has no relevance to Basar B'cholav. No, because again. No, because again, if let's say I wouldn't have that Xeris Kosov, that's not called you're not permitted benefit from the substance. So let's say I have decomposed Basar B'cholav. That's still the substance. Unconventional. That is the substance. Let's say it absorbs into a wall of a pot, and now it's extracted. If I wouldn't have that other Xeris Kosov, I'd say what's extracted, that's nothing. It has no relevance to that substance. You understand? So it's because of that Xeris Kosov. But within the context that the Xeris Kosov Torah says, it has to be viable. Otherwise, it's nothing. It's like I don't have a Xeris Kosov. It's as if the Torah never discussed taste regarding Basar B'cholav. So if that's the case, after 24 hours, you permit it. It's not called taste, period. Not because it's unconventional. It's not called taste. After 24 hours, it's not called taste. A residue of something, and since it's not the substance, is nothing. Therefore, even though it's Basar B'cholav, you're permitted to benefit.